Okay guys, so who is the greatest rock and roll band of all time? Well, in 1977 I was 14 and a half and I heard Physical Graffiti, Led Zeppelin, Custard Pie, and by the time I was halfway through the song I knew that this band, I didn't know their name, I had to wait till the end of the song to ask Dino, who was rolling a joint in the front seat, and he said, while I roll the joint, I'm going to play some music, and bang, out jumps Custard Pie, Physical Graffiti, followed by The Rover. By the time I was halfway through Custard Pie, I knew what I know now, that Led Zeppelin are, were, and always will be the greatest band of all time. So, I'm going to use two criteria today, two metrics to prove that. It's provable, it's not subjective at all. It's provable. Led Zeppelin are the greatest band of all time. So when you do a search and you ask who is the greatest rock and roll drummer of all time, John Bonham, Led Zeppelin, always. Rolling Stones magazine, #1, John Bonham, Led Zeppelin. Keith Moon 2, Ginger Baker. Who is the greatest rock and roll singer of all time? So here we have Elvis Presley, fair enough. Freddie Mercury, Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin. Let's go to Rolling Stones magazine. Rolling Stones magazine, Robert Plant. Freddie Mercury, second. If we go to Billboard, here's #3. #1 is Mick Jagger. He's got the Leo astrological symbol there. I mean, his voice is very monotonous, but fair enough. That's what the Rolling Stones get. Stevie Nicks, Freddie Mercury, deservedly always. If I see him before Robert Plant, I'm just more than happy. He's just phenomenal. But this only happens with Led Zeppelin. You can do any other band, and you will never get all 4 members. Let's stay with 4, strictly 4-member bands. Right? It doesn't happen with the Beatles. This doesn't happen with the Stones, Pink Floyd, AC/DC. It only happens with Led Zeppelin. Let's get going. You can do this at home. Who is the greatest rock and roll guitarist of all time? Jimi Hendrix. Congratulations.
Cheers.
Jimi Hendrix, #1. Jim Page, #2. That's good enough. That's good enough. Because we've already got Rolling Stones putting Robert Plant and John Bonham as the greatest singer in rock and roll artists of all time. We have that just by searching. I knew that this would happen 5 decades at the age of 14 and a half. And I've been proving this and arguing with this with people all the time. And people will be like, well, what about the Doors? What about Queen? What about Led Zeppelin broke all the records. They broke all the records and they still are I haven't even begun. And these are only 2 metrics. Okay, who is the greatest guitar? Oh, we've done that. Jimmy Page gets 3 in Rolling Stones. Okay, number 3. And before him is Chuck Berry, and of course Jimi Hendrix, number 1. But we've already got in the one band 2 number 1s of all time, permanent. I mean, you can't argue that John Bonham is not the greatest drummer of all time. You just can't. You can't. You look like an idiot if you argue for anyone else. Bonzo was the greatest drummer, is and forever will be. In my opinion, Robert Plant has the most versatile voice and will always, for me, be the best. And the Rolling Stones magazines and the AI, 50 years later, are telling what I've always known this. I've always known this. Well, this is hot, that's why. It's cooling now, mate. Alright, let's go to who is the greatest bass guitar player of all time. John Paul Jones of Led Zeppelin.
Oh.
It is widely considered the greatest rock bass guitarist and arranger of all time due to his unparalleled versatility, intricate melodic lines, etc. Well, let's go. Here is number 14 in Rolling Stones magazine. That's very, very low for John Paul Jones. But any search engine will tell you that he's number 1. Now, with Jimmy Page, we got number 3. Now, we've got 3 members, the bass player, the singer, and the drummer, number 1. And you can argue for Jimmy Page to be number 1 as the guitarist as well. And oftentimes, you'll do that, depending on the day, Jimmy Page will be up there, number 1. Now, apart from that, Led Zeppelin are the only ongoing industry in the history of rock and roll that has tribute bands and cover bands. No other band has 1 tribute band. Look at this. Top Led Zeppelin tribute bands. Zepp Again, Zozo, Led Zeppica, No Quarter, Led Zepp, Zepparella, Red Zeppelin, Coda, Rainbow On. Let's have a look at this one. 12, what do we got? Zeppla, Get Out the Lead, Get the Lead Out. Led Zeppica, Zusa Rocks. Kashmir, Les Zeppelin, Zozo, Led Blimpy, The Led Zeppelin Experience, Led Zepp Again, No Quarter, Dread Zeppelin. And you can search and you'll find 10s and 10s and 10s and 10s and 10s and 10s more. They have been an industry of tribute bands since the 60s. And they are the only band that has 10s and 10s and 10s and 10s of people filling stadiums and arenas only playing Led Zeppelin music. There is not 1 cover band doing the Beatles, Rolling Stones, AC/DC, Pink Floyd, Queen, you name it. Michael Jackson imitators, Elvis Presley imitators, gone, extinct. Led Zeppelin, as I've always said, their music is timeless. All the other bands, as good as they are, and I love them all, their music is not timeless. Led Zeppelin channeled music from where music comes from, the source of it. That's the difference. They were magicians, and that's only 2 criteria. I'm sure I'm going to get people arguing this in the comments, but you can make your own video and you can try and make the same argument for AC/DC. No tribute bands. Try it for the Doors. Did you see Jim Morrison in the top of any of those lists? His drummer, his bassist. Creedence Clearwater Revival? No. Always Led Zeppelin are number one. And they always have been, and they always will be, forever. Because their music is timeless, unlike any other musical act in history. Thank you very much. See you on the next one.